Welcome to What's Going On, the weekly podcast and videocast of First United Methodist Church in Yankton, South Dakota.
Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of What's Going On. I'm Pastor Katie here at First United Methodist in Yankton, South Dakota, and I'm glad you could join me for this episode. I'm going to be honest that I don't really have a plan for what I'm going to talk about today. Sometimes I have a plan and sometimes I don't. And today is one of those days that I don't necessarily have a lot. So I'm going to start with what's happening in the life of the church and we'll see where we go. One of the things I'm very excited about that's by the time that you see this will have happened, but it is in the future for me right now, is our Women's Night Out. Last month, our Women's Night Out kicked off. Well, we kicked off in September with a meal out at Murdo's, and then last month in October we did just a gathering fellowship time down at the boathouse, and for November it's been a game night here at the church, board game, card game kind of night, which is right up my alley. That's the kind of thing that I love. But I love that we were getting this going. Big thanks to Tammy Downs, who really took on the leadership of this and is making it happen. The men's night out have been active for over a year now and just doing incredible things. And it's been a great place for people to find connection. I think it's a really good first step into the church, especially the men's night out for our men, and a great place for them to invite people in who maybe don't have a church home, or maybe this is their church home and they just have been gone for a while, to find a safe place to come back and to build up those friendships and those connections again. I think I've talked in the past a little bit about how important I think it is for this to be a community. We are a community of faith. We are a community of disciples of Jesus Christ. And it's really important for us to be in community with one another, to be connected to each other, to be invested in each other. I think that's one of the things that kind of got lost for a little bit. That really has been a focus for me as the pastor and as the leader of something that I feel very passionate about, is that it is important for all of you to be connected to each other, to know each other, to be friends, to feel like you know one another and can trust each other and walk with each other in this life of faith. That's the gift of a church. That's the gift of Christian community. Our faith is never meant to be lived out alone. It's always been meant to be lived in community. And so it's really important. And it's really important that every person in the community has multiple connections within the community. You might remember a sermon that we did on I'm the vine and you are the branches. It's the infamous yarn sermon. By the way, our yarn art installation is going to be coming down for Advent. We're going to decorate that space again for people to be able to take Christmas photos with their family. And so I just want to put that out there, that if you want to take a photo or reflect on the yarn one more time, to do that, because it's going to be going away soon. But that whole idea that we need to be connected to each other, we need to be need to feel like we have people here, and not just one or two people, but multiple people, because the reality is, if you are only here because there's one other person that you're connected to, if something happens to that person, you've lost your connection to the church. And it's also really important that that one other person isn't me as the pastor. I love and care about each one of you so much, and it is important to me that you can feel connected to me and feel that I am a safe person for you and that you can come and talk to me about anything. But I do not want to be your only connection to this church. And especially for those who are kind of online only participants, that's a real hard thing, is you feel connected to me because you see me, you hear me, you watch the videos, and the videos are of me. But it's really important to get connected to other people in the church, which is why I always am talking about these other things that are happening, because I don't know if you know this, but as United Methodists, pastors are appointed for seasons. not usually for lifetimes, which means someday, hopefully years and years down the road, the bishop might ask me to move. I don't want to be the only reason you're here. I also don't want to believe, and my brain would find it very hard to believe that I would be the only reason for anyone to be here, but it's important to me that you are connecting to other people. So that's why things like men's night out, men's breakfast, women's night out, Bibles and brews, small groups, classes, service opportunities, why we push all of these things so much is because those are the opportunities for you to get connected, to get to know, to get to rub elbows with the other people in this church. And one of the things that I get in my vantage point is I know a lot of you, right? In some way, I know all of you to an extent. And what I know about all of you is that you're pretty amazing. But I also know that not all of you know that about each other. Maybe you see someone's face, but that doesn't mean you know anything about them, or the incredible story of their life, or the ways in which God has been moving in and through them, or the struggles that they carry. That's where real transformation happens. That's where real faith development happens. That's where we get to be the hands and feet of Christ. And so I know it might seem kind of silly that we do all of this stuff. We put all these things out there. Not all of them have like we're going to walk through a Bible study. Sometimes it's really what I care about is that you start to get to know each other, that it begins with, knowing their name and knowing a little bit about their family. And then just over time, they begin to become your people. And I want the people of this church to be your people. And I want you to be their people. And so that's why things like these fellowship opportunities, why I'm so excited about them, and why I really want you to be a part of something other than just Sunday morning worship, because Sunday morning worship isn't the best time to develop those friendships unless you're staying for fellowship, which is a great opportunity to get to know people and to mingle around and to eat really good treats, which it's worth it to me. But my daughter beelines right to the table. She knows exactly what she's doing when she's there. That is what I want. Her love of sweets, I think, outweighs her love for her mommy, but I digress. But Sunday mornings during worship is not a great time to develop those friendships, develop those relationships. It's a great time to introduce yourself or to make plans or to invite someone out for coffee or to do something like that. But it's not a great time. And if that's the only time that you are seeing the people of the church, I'm going to really encourage and push you a little bit to try something new and to add on to your worship time with some fellowship time to, again, one of the best ways I have found to really get to know people is through either being in a small group together or a class or serving together. And I've heard you guys talk about how meaningful it is to serve like something like the soup kitchen. But if that's your only time that you're rubbing elbows with the people of the church, that's one time a year. If you have friends that you only talk to one time a year, they're probably not the closest friends, right? And so again, finding those inroads, investing in the friendships and the relationships, because these should be your people. We are in this community together. We share something profound together, and that what binds us is the love of Christ in our life, and our need for God, and everybody in the pew shares that with you, and that's a pretty powerful thing to share. And so that is happening. See, I didn't have a plan, but look what comes out when I don't have a plan, something that I'm really passionate about. Sunday, we are going to be talking about attitude of gratitude as we go into Thanksgiving week, and also I think the weekend that gets so often corrupted. Yeah, I'm going to use that word, by our consumer culture that tells you need to buy, you need to, you don't have enough, you need to always be getting more rather than maybe being grateful for what you do have. And so we're going to be talking about that on the 19th. Following worship, our visioning team is going to be meeting. Again, our visioning team is a group that's coming together for a short period of time to really dream about what we want our church to be like, and then how we're going to move in those directions. This last meeting that we had together was wonderful, and we've been working on a vision statement of what kind of church are we going to be excited about? What kind of church would you not be able to wait to tell your friends about, to say, you really should come check this out? This would be a church for you. What kind of church would make you passionate? So we've been talking about that kind of vision of what that church looks like. And then this week, we're going to be moving into kind of refining that vision a bit, and then moving into our mission statement. We have a mission statement at the church, but reflecting on, does our mission statement get us to the vision that we have? And if does it need tweaking, or what? So we're moving in that direction. We're going to be kind of launching a lot of this stuff in January for the new year. I do have already, out of our last conversation, been doing some future planning for a sermon series, and I've got one lined up for January that I am super excited about. We're going to be doing kind of a preview promo during Christmas Eve, because we know that a lot of people are in the pews at that point, or watching, that maybe don't always come. And it's definitely going to be a sermon series for people who have questions and maybe doubts and maybe hurts that is keeping them from fully living into their faith. And so I think it's going to be a really great one. And so I want to just give you that heads up. And that's coming out again of our conversations and visioning team of what does our community need, and who are we going to be, and what is our purpose here? So really good stuff. If you would like to be part of those conversations, I would love to have you. Sunday after church, we're going to be meeting in the confirmation room. That's the first classroom on the left, upstairs down the hallway. We want to give a special shout out to the Men's Night Out group, because they're covering Loads of Love on the 21st. Thank you. Loads of Love is one of our key mission opportunities here in the church. And so that is great. If you have never done Loads of Love before, here's another challenge. Sign up to do it. We're going to be doing it again in January, and so you've got a little bit of time. It is one of the times where I feel the most impactful in ministry. It is a time where I feel like we're putting our actions where our mouth is, right? We say that we want to love and serve our neighbor. We say that God loves everyone. We say these things. We say that it's important that our faith has an impact. When we do Loads of Love, we're not just saying it, we're doing it. We're backing up what we say with what we do. And so I think it's super important. I do know that we struggle sometimes getting people to sign up for that. And I just don't understand why that is, because we have plenty of people in this church, and I think a lot of people that have the ability to do it. And so I would like for you to kind of do some soul searching of what is it that's preventing you from signing up. And I would love to have a conversation with you about that, and invite you along into that ministry, because it's really incredible and we're doing really good work there. The 22nd, this coming Wednesday night, there is no Wednesday night youth or children's activities. So no 605, no meal, no confirmation, no youth group. And that is leading into Thanksgiving. And so those things will come back on the 29th, however. Just looking through, one of the things that I would love for you to, we've kind of put it out there a little bit, and I'm going to just share it again. In Yankton, we have a Salvation Army Extension unit in the contact center. And the contact center, most people know it as primarily kind of the main food pantry for the city of Yankton. They do actually a whole lot more than that. There's a lot of programs that they run, they meet a lot of needs. If people come here that we aren't able to meet a need, which we really aren't set up to meet a lot of needs, our first question is, have you gone to the contact center? Because they actually have a lot of the things in place. But they're the Salvation Army Extension Unit, and the money that they earn from being a Salvation Army Extension Unit and doing the bell ringing at Christmas in the holiday season goes to helping people with emergency needs. So, let's say something comes up in a family and, they're barely scraping by, and let's say their car breaks down and they if they don't have a vehicle, they can't get their kids to school, they can't get to work, it's a pretty massive emergency in their life. The contact center can help them out and things like that. Or, there's so many stories of the working poor. And I think too often we think about the people that are going to the food pantries or going to get assistance and help. They're just lazy, living off the system. And I'm not going to say that there aren't people like that, but that is that is such a small percentage of what the contact center sees and what we see in churches. More often than not, it is people who do have jobs, who are working full-time, but just don't make enough to make ends meet. There is a lot of that. There is this weird gap. Weird is maybe, I don't know, go with weird, of I work full-time, I don't live extravagantly, and I still can't meet my needs. And sometimes because they have a salary, they're not eligible for certain things, certain kinds of assistance, because they are working. And the assumption is if you work a full-time job, you should be able to provide for all your needs. That used to be true, but it's not true anymore. And there are a lot of people like that are living paycheck to paycheck, and any sort of unexpected emergency, unexpected expense can really cause problems because it can snowball pretty quickly. If you have to pay for, a doctor's appointment you weren't expecting, or like I said, a car thing that you weren't expecting, or something, then all of a sudden the money you used for that was the money you were supposed to use for your utility bill, or it's the money that you had to go grocery shopping, or it was the money you had for something else, and now you don't have that. And so that is the majority of what we see in the churches, in places like the contact center, people who are working, who are just struggling to make ends meet. So why am I saying all of this? One, the contact center needs your help. It needs your help to help support what they are doing. And there's a variety of ways you can do that. And I'm going to just lift up a few. And why do I care about it? I've been working with the contact center this past year and really getting to know what they are doing, and the impact that they are making. And I just believe it's a really great thing for our community. One of the ways is you can be a bell ringer and sign up for a 2-hour shift. They ring bells in Hy-Vee. You don't even have to be outside. You get to be in those kind of initial lobbies on the north or south side. You stand there next to a bucket and you ring a bell. You say, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you want. And that helps. That helps. They have a goal this year of reaching $25,000 because they project that is the amount that is going to be needed for the city of Yankton. Do they go into the county? I think so. And for 2024, because the needs are increasing. The second way is you can donate to the Red Buckets. That would be great. When you go shopping, if you go to Hy-Vee, consider putting a donation into that, or writing a donation directly to the contact center. I know that this time of year there's a lot of like food drives and things, but really what is more helpful to them are monetary donations, because the reality is they can get really good deals on food if they have the money to be able to do it. And so consider donating and leaving it open so that the money can go where it is most needed. And again, like I said, they're doing a lot of different kinds of programs. They do the food pantry, but they do so much more. So the big thing is sign up. We have links on our social medias for that. If you are like, I can't find it, just shoot me an email, give me a call, send me a text. I will get that information to you, or I can help you sign up. Not a problem. I'm happy to do that. The reason it came up is I'm going to be doing bell ringing on Saturday the 25th from 10 to 12. So if you want to come and plan some Hy-Vee shopping at that time, you can come say hi to me. And while I do bell ringing, but it's the end of November all the way through December. So that is happening. Some other mission opportunities for the month of December. One thing I'm very excited about, I'm just going to say, check the reminder when you get it for the month of December. We've got some really cool things in there, and I don't want to give it away. But we will be doing the banquet in December, at the end of December. So keep that in mind. It will be on Thursday, December 28th. So please mark that on your calendar now so you don't schedule anything else for that night. We have Angel Tree. The Angel Tree stuff is going to be going up, I believe, after church this Sunday, which means it'll be available after that and when you get back from Thanksgiving. So this is something we've been doing for years, and I believe we have 60 some names of children from Milks Camp that we are supporting this year. And so you take an angel, you write down that information in the sign-in sheet so we know who has what angels. You purchase your gifts, you wrap them up, bring them back to the church. We do have some extra things that this year, and so there might be some slightly different directions to add to Angel Tree gifts. We had a donation of teddy bears come in this summer that we determined would be great to add into the younger children's Angel Tree gifts. And we also had someone, I'm going to say it's crochet, but to be honest, I can't just by looking at something know what has been knitted and what has been crocheted. The cutest winter hats I have ever seen. I've been looking into those bags with longing because I want to put all of those hats on Abigail. They're so cute. And so we've got some extra goodies this year to add to those gifts. But that is coming up. We also are going to be this Saturday decorating at the Mead Center. The Mead Center does this Hall of Trees every year. Last year was the first year that we had a tree there. And so we're going to be doing that again. And they are going to be going out, I believe it's around noon, to decorate our tree for the Mead Center. So if that's something that you can help with and you'd like to do, please, by all means, go and lend a hand. I'm really excited about it. The other thing you can do is once that is going is to go and see all the trees. It's a wonderful holiday activity to do, but then you get to vote for your favorite tree. And if it so happens that our tree is your favorite tree, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, vote for it. Invite your friends. There are actually some really beautiful, really creative, really incredible trees. And so you should just go see it anyway. But you could vote for ours and that would be okay. So lots of great things happening. And then don't forget, I just want you to get it on your calendars if you haven't already, the 17th of December, that worship service is going to be the children's program. They're leading the whole worship service that day. Very exciting. This year, our Blue Christmas service is going to be on Tuesday, December 19th, and that's actually going to be at the UCC Church. We are joining together, much like we did with VBS, for our Blue Christmas. So it's going to alternate locations every year. And so this year it's over at the UCC Church, but I will be there helping to lead that service as well. And we will be having some of our people be doing parts of the service. And so it is very much a joint service. And I hope that you come. Blue Christmas, also known as like the longest night service. I just don't always put it on the longest night. I'd like to put it on the Tuesday before Christmas. It's a time for recognizing that the holidays, while joyful and merry and it's the most wonderful time of year, well, that's not always true for everybody. It can also bring out feelings of grief and heartache and loss and struggle. And so Blue Christmas is a service to recognize that, to have a space for that, to name it, and to still find the hope in the midst of it. It's probably my favorite Christmas service that we do. And if you've never been to one, it's a really beautiful service. It's really beautiful and meaningful. And it helps me that by the time I get to Christmas Eve, ready for the joy. So just some things to keep in mind. So yeah, that's what's going on here in the life of the church, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So with that, I hope this video finds you well. I hope to see you in worship soon. If you are one of our online viewers, know that I'm so glad that you are choosing to worship with us. But please let me know that you are, because I would like to feel connected to you as well, and know that when I'm talking to the camera, who I'm talking to. And so that would be a really wonderful thing. If you are joining us for worship, if you're watching the podcast, just to send me a note and say, hey, you said hi to me, I'm going to say hi back. So this is me saying hi to you. Say hi back in some way. Let me know that you watch it. Let me know that you've seen it. How about this? If the first 5 people that let me know that they watch the podcast, that they have seen this, I've got a surprise for you. But you have to let me know. That's the deal. So with that, I can't wait to hear from you and see you in worship. God bless. Thank you for listening to this episode of What's Going On. We'd love to have you join us for worship here at the church on Sundays at 10 a.m. You can also find us online via our website at firstumcyankton.org or search for us on YouTube.